guys, welcome back to Viva Glam magazine. I'm Katarina, and today I'm gonna show you makeup on one of my favorite models, Liv. She's a good friend of mine. I love her. She's totally rock and roll chick and cool, and I love to travel with her. And she let me do my version of the Sultry Glam on her, so I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so first I am going to use Magic Cream by Charlotte Tilbury to hydrate Liv's face. And right after, I'm gonna follow up with Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation by Becca. I'm using shade Beige, and make sure you get it all over the face, neck especially, and a little bit of ears. Using Beach Stick in Ibiza shade by Charlotte Tilbury to warm up her face and just give her a nice healthy glow. And also adding Becca Beach Tint in Licia Opal, which will give her a nice fresh look. It's the pink, yeah. Now Anastasia's Brow Wiz in Soft Brown. I use it just to create some basic shape for the eyebrow, so it's easier for me to draw the eyeshadows. And just conceal the under eyes with NYX HD Photogenic Concealer in Fair. And I also use it as a primer for the eyeshadows. Now I set it with the translucent powder, and I also use my first eyeshadow color, which is labeled as Prime, on the palette called The Sophisticate by Charlotte Tilbury. That's the palette. Now using the other shade, which is labeled as Enhance, and I'm just using it to create a nice almond shape. Using another shade, which is labeled as Pop, I'm going really into the crease to define the crease and define that almond shape. So two colors. First was Enhance, and then the second was Pop to make it a little bit more dramatic. Going back to the Enhance shade to, just smudge and blend underneath on the bottom of the eye. Don't make it perfect, just smudge, smudge, smudge. And then using the darker shade Pop just to define the outer corner, upper and lower. Beautiful eye pencil called Barbarella Brown by Charlotte Tilbury. Great quality product. I use it to frame Liv's eyes. I like to use it better than black because it's dark brown with cool undertone, and it makes the eyes look more sultry and somewhat natural in a way versus black, which can be a little too harsh sometimes. Now I take the darkest shade on the eyeshadow palette labeled as Smoke, and I set the eye pencil with the Smoke eyeshadow just to make it a little more diffused looking and softer. Again, it needs to look very smudgy and soft, no harsh lines. And just fine tune it. Go back to your Enhance and Pop color, mix them up, and just, play a little bit with the outer corner and just make it nice almond shape, keeping the middle of the eyelid light. Black mascara. Now I decided to add a little bit more warmth to her eyes, so I went to the other palette by Charlotte Tilbury. It's called the Dolce Vita, and her shade Enhance is very reddish, beautiful, kind of spice color. And I just use it to diffuse the edges of my, previously created shape on top and bottom. So it adds a little bit kind of like an orange tint to the eyes, and just clean up the under eyes again with the same NYX concealer to clean it up and brighten it up at the same time, so the eye makeup pops really nicely. Very, very lightly powder up the face with, translucent powder. I'm using Cinema Secret. The look should be fresh and not powdery. Set the under eyes and just make sure it stays very dewy and glowy. And since Liv came with her beat up eyelash extensions, I just added a little, like a half lash, to fix basically the look of her lashes. Now we're just finishing up the shape of her eyebrows, just going back, and now you can see what the eye's gonna look like. So, you know, you have more control over finishing it up, you know, the shape you want to go really well with the almond eye shape. A little bit of the highlighter, which is in the same palette, Film Star Bronze and Glow by Charlotte Tilbury. And just blend everything with mascara. Now using again Barbarella Brown to frame Liv's eyes and going into her waterline. On top and bottom, just to really define the eyes and, you know, make it a perfect, beautiful shape. And just blend and smudge and blend. Everything needs to look sultry, which means kind of smudgy, and adding a little bit more of the enhanced shade from the Dolce Vita palette. I was gonna use this lip liner, but then I changed my mind because it wasn't dark enough. So what I ended up using is this one, which is by Sormé. It's Baby Doll shade. It's a beautiful pink. And the lipstick is by Charlotte Tilbury, called Live It Up. And finishing it up with Lorac Peach Luster lip gloss. And that's it. Still very dewy, not too much powder, not too much product, sultry yet sexy.